words which Moses speak unto all Israel.
To all Israel. He ain't said to all Israel in the mixed multitude. No, he said to all Israel. So now we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 to find out what is going on and the reason why we are in the struggle that we are in. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and let me see what I want to start with first. Let's start at verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God would set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So check it out, y'all. We had the opportunity to get the kingdom back at this moment. Of the nation of Israel only hearkened to the voice of Moses when God was speaking to him, and we would have kept those laws and the commandment, we wouldn't be going through the struggle that we're going through right now. But what did Israel do? Go to verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now God giving the flip side of the coin. If y'all don't want to obey my words, I'm going to allow all these curses to come upon you. When you look at the whole chapter of Deuteronomy 28, from verse 1 down to 14, meaning you had 13 blessings that God was going to give us. But us being so rebellious and so stiff-necked and hard-headed children, God had to turn around and give us a total of 53 curses to get us back right. That shows you how rebellious of a people we are. Even those that's in the truth, they still rebellious. Because they want to debunk everything that comes their way. So God said, I'm going to have to give y'all 53 curses to break y'all to a point that make y'all realize the covenant that y'all broken between me. My words stand. Like Christ said in, I think it's in Matthew, he said, my word do not come back void. Meaning everything that I say, I'm going to stand on it. Because I don't give these curses to come upon y'all, heaven and earth going to be destroyed. But my word will still stand. Meaning I would kill every last one of you. Everybody on planet Earth, I would destroy it. If I allow my word to come back void. So far, we know the earth still standing. We know that these curses still walking among us. So guess what that means? God's word did not go void. But we headed toward the blessings because Israel's starting to wake up now. But we got to wake up as a whole, Israel. We can't wake up individual, well, as long as I got it, I'm all good. No, you still going to be in captivity until your nation wake up. That's why we tell people, when we are on these streets and we teaching, we are teaching to a nation of people. We're not teaching to just one person or two people. We try to wake up a nation of people. There ain't nothing to do with colors. Because God and his people are like a speck of a bird. I mean, they're going to come in all colors. They might come looking pale looking. They might come with straight hair. That's why Christ is speaking my words. And the Spirit will bear witness. If someone said, hey man, that's me. I can relate to that. We can't tell them no way. This is welcome home. Because in due time, all of that seed going to take roots and take it to another level, or eventually that seed going to wither away. that root will never take hold. So let's touch some of the curses to see how our spirit bear witness to the struggle that Israel had to go. Let me get verse 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So one of the curses that fall upon the children of Israel that cause us to go through the struggle that we are going through is that the Lord said he will smite madness upon the children of Israel. When you look at that context of that whole verse right there, that madness get flipped in so many different ways. That madness get be because the simple fact we so tee off that we are going through what we are going through. Getting up every morning, busting your behind on a job. The other form of madness get turned into when you see your brothers and sisters in the midst of sin and they don't even see no result of it. What I mean, a brother can be on drugs so bad and you try to help him and he just want to curse you out and want to attack you and want to fight you. That's madness. A sister can be laying down having multiple babies and don't even realize ain't no man in the house to help take care of those kids. But she would get mad at every man and say he no good because she can't close her lane. That's madness. That is a curse that God said he put on us. Same thing for a brother. You popping baby from city to city, every area code, you got a child. And you mad because you can't make ends meet. Because every check you get goes straight to child support. In the same meantime, you are destroying that young man that coming up because guess what? He never know who his father was. Now he come up raised by a woman and most likely being effeminate because he can't take correction. He want to take off and pop a gun because why? He don't know how to be a man and take correction. So now when he go up in the bake house, now you bake bubble play toy. That's far underneath madness. Blindness is the same thing. The sin is in your face. The issue you having is in your face, but you can't even see it. You struggling, trying to figure out what's wrong, why I'm going through what I'm going through. Because the sin is sitting in your face. You are blind because you never asked the Most High God to take the blindness off of your eyes. So now you blind to the fact that you don't even see why you're going through what you're going through. Mama tell you, stop doing what you're doing, you won't be going through that problem. Oh, you wonder when you talk about you old. That's that blindness upon you. That's just like you tell a child, I've been down that road once before. I did that. You warn them before they even start to do it, and then they see you did it wrong. See, the game changed. This is how we do it. I'm good at this. So now you got that blindness on your face. Not even seeing the concept in someone trying to warn you before you have to go down that path. We always tell people, sometimes you gotta let people go down the path because they gotta figure out the struggle and the pain that you try to warn them from not going through.
Let me get Ephesians chapter 4, verse 18. Just to back Brother Joel up about the blindness, all right? Because everything he's saying is scriptural, all right?
The book Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 18.
Start at verse 17.
Verse 17. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord.
This is talking about telling the truth, all right? Read it.
that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk.
So now he's talking to the Ephesians who are Israelites, but they're walking in the path of Gentiles. All right? Read.
And the vanity of their mind.
And the vanity of your mind, meaning you doing things that is not profitable unto you. You going about life aimlessly. Read.
Having the understanding darkening.
So now this is what we want to work on right here. This is going into the blindness. It says having the understanding of what? Darkness. Meaning sin. Read.
Being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them.
So now it says you being alienated. Meaning when you're alienated from God, meaning you're what? You're separated. You don't have no idea of the God that you serve. This is why we go through the struggle. Because we don't have no clue as to who we are and what God requires of us. So therefore we are alienated from him. Meaning we are separated from God. All right? Read.
Because
Now he's going to tell you why.
Of the blindness of their heart.
Because of the what?
Of the blindness of their heart.
The blindness of your heart. What is your heart, brothers? Your mind. So when we are blind in our heart, it's because we don't have the understanding of who we are, first and foremost, and the God that we serve. So therefore, when we have that ignorance, we are alienated or separated from God, therefore making us what? Blind. Blind to the truth. Everybody understand that? This is why I go back to Deuteronomy 28 and verse 28 again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28.
Read this again.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
So understand, the Lord is doing these things. Why? Because we did what? Violated his laws. So God is saying, because of y'all disobedient, I'm going to have to alienate you all from me for a little while. All right, read.
And blindness.
So I'm going to smite you with madness and with blindness, meaning lack of understanding. Read.
And astonishment of heart.
And astonishment of heart. The astonishment is you can sit back and be like, I can't believe all this time we was the people of this daggone book. And somebody wake you up and show you, listen, Deuteronomy 28 is talking about you. And when you hear it, it just baffles you like, this is something real, man. All this stuff makes sense. That's an astonishment. Because why? All the time before getting the true understanding, you was blind. You had no clue that you was God's chosen people, that you was royalty. You walk around here calling yourself niggas, spits, bitchs, you know what I'm saying? Not realizing that you all are royalty. You all are God's people. But you carry yourself in a low manner. And it's because of our own vain opinions and how we transgress the laws of God during the time of Daniel in Egypt. That's an astonishment of heart. Therefore, we all was once blinded.
That's going to lead to astonishment of heart. People look at you like, oh, these people don't know how royalty they are. So now you're astonishment because they put the N-word on you. Now you in your music rapping the N-word like it's all good. Back when I was coming up, a woman would not have you call her a B. But now you got sister, I'm a good B. I'm a bad B. No respect. That's astonishment when the other nation look at you like, wow, they have no shame about themselves. You got brothers walking around with their pants around their ankle. It was bad for us when we used to do it as well because we used to have the baggy pants. Because you better, oh, my pants too big, so I want to fall off. But now you got the effeminate brother these days of time with the tight pants. And want to have the pants sagging like, astonishment to me. Your pants tight and you still sagging? How can you sag in tight pants? And then, when you look at the style of the clothes, back then when we was coming out, we used to say, man, Mom, I'm not wearing that pants to school with no holes in it like that. But now you look at it, that's a style. We used to join kids because we used were poor because they had holes in their jeans. Now you got kids that go to the mall and buy it. That's astonishment of a heart. Meaning we are literally mad, smiting with madness. You don't see, you might see every few now and then some Esau might want to wear what we want to wear because they want to be like us. But one people I can say for a show, when you go over there in China, those people don't dress like that. They don't allow the custom that America doing over there in their country. They call you Rama. You dusty. What is that? I remember when their people, some guy was starting using rap music over there, the governor, the president of the country, shut them down and made them give an apology to the whole country for calling their woman bees. But over here, Israel don't have no shame in disrespecting their woman. And to the point so bad that the woman don't even care if they're being disrespected no more. Another astonishment of heart, you talking to a woman, you call her a bee, she'll curse you out. And she went to the club the weekend and danced off a song calling them a bee. Don't make no sense. That's far back underneath. Read 20A again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart.
This is one of our struggles. And we want to know why. The Bible gives you the answer why you're going through what you're going through. That curse is upon you. That go right back, hold what you got, and go back to that chapter that Eli had brought out.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 18. Having the understanding, darkened it, being alienated from the life of God through the ignorance that is in them.
Read.
Because of the blindness of their heart.
Read.
Who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness.
Unto what?
And to lasciviousness.
Read.
To work all uncleanliness with greediness.
With greediness. That's our people. We cannot get enough in what America put before us. America said, you call your sisters bees and hoes, I give you this much money. This is what they like. So you can't see a person making a rap music unless they downgrading their nation. Sisters, if you want to make a lot of money, shake your butt and show all what you got. And you can make this much money. What do our sisters do? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, my page, YouTube, what the other little stuff there? Yeah, my OnlyFans. All these stuff, you see our sister on there shaking their butt. When they were doing the shutdown there for COVID down in Atlanta, you had a sister in the middle of the highway, because the traffic was backed up, got on top of the car, shaking her butt. That's astonishment of heart. Because why? All because of greed. The more likes I get, I probably get paid for doing what I do. So you literally selling your body unto the white man gain, when back then our ancestors used to fight for their life, not to be showing their body off like that. And now we are astonished because we don't take our body to be a diamond in the rock. You don't take your body and be something glorified that God had created you for. You disgrace your body. You're ashamed of your body. Now I gotta go get all this fake plastic surgery done to me to make me look good. I posted something on Facebook today. I don't know anybody see it. I gotta say it. But when they put makeup on a totally different person, that's witchcraft. Because when you get home from the club and the man see how you really look, something might break down. Because they didn't saw that at the club. But that's what you get, that called judgment. Because first of all, you should have been there trying to find a woman. But that goes back to way in the beginning, our sister is falling under these curses because you never took pride of what God already created you to be. So now you take your Esau method and try to make yourself look more in something that you really not. And it's so bad that sister ain't the only one putting on makeup no more. You got brothers putting on makeup now. Because they're ashamed on how they look. They got it to the point now that a brother who might not be like me. No, matter of fact, it's about my size now. They got this stuff that you can put on your whole body and you'll walk around with your shirt off to make it look like you got muscle.
Okay. You're tricking people.
Catfish.
That's witchcraft.
I know about that. That's showing you how America is upside down. Matter of fact, this whole earth is upside down. Because everybody running after the greed of it. Read verse 20.
Verse 20.
We'll start at 19 again, then read down.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 19. Who, being past, feeling of giving himself over unto lasciviousness.
So now pause. That word there, lasciviousness. Who here by show of hand, raise your hand if you understand what that word means. Lasciviousness. That word lasciviousness is going into what? Sexual devious thoughts. Sexual thoughts inside your mind. That's what the word lascivious means. All right? That's why Brother Joel was giving y'all the analogy of how women shaking it behind on Instagram, my OnlyFans, because why? They're looking at the greed. There's a lasciviousness inside their mind saying, listen, you got the body. Shit what your mama gave you. And all that money that you look and see what the people doing, you can get it. So now that sexual deviant, sexual sin, thoughts that you have in your mind, make you think, you know, I can get money from it. So therefore now you get greed. Mm-hmm. Right?
Read.
To work all uncleanliness with greediness.
Read. Hold on, man. It said uncleanness. That means you go against every law that God gives us. You go against the whole commandments. When the Bible tells us there should be no holes in the daughters of what? Zion. But when you do that, you go against the law. Far unto what? Adultery. Fornication. All these sins, you go against it. Read.
But ye have not so learned Christ.
Because why you haven't learned Christ? Because Christ teach the law. Christ said a woman shouldn't be dressed like that. Christ said a brother should be this type of way. You're supposed to be a king. But when they look at you, they see a boy. They don't see a man that can rule a nation. That's why when you look at the whole concept of when a black man can move up in a business, who always be over that black man? Esau. It's to the point right now that they look at the black man so low, they will put a woman over him to make sure that that business runs like you're supposed to. Because why? There are no contact or no leadership in a man role to be able to run that business. Because most men get now, they're worse than a woman. They start getting to be effeminate, emotional, in running our business. You never used to see back then a man being emotional when he running something. He fall back and say, you know what, let me get my thoughts together first. The woman always be the one that be emotional. Now you look at the woman, and I see this on my job on a regular basis. Woman stepping up to the plate and trying to run stuff now. The man be already breaking down. This whole world is upside down, y'all. And we have to learn how to get back And the Bible tell you right here, one reason why we didn't get it, but ye have not learned Christ. When we learn Christ, we can start defeating the struggle that we are going through. But if we're not learning Christ, we're going to continue in the struggle until he said, you know what, enough is enough, let him die off. That struggle you stay in going to cause you to lose your salvation. So that means that we got to get out of the struggle. Because the struggle keeping us where? In sin. Bound in sin. A person who keeps the law, they're not in the struggle. Because they understand what we're going through. They understand how to overcome that situation. A person that is in the struggle, they don't understand it. They don't know why. The answer will be, why am I always going through this? Why is this? Because why? They don't know the law. Back to Deuteronomy 28.
And understand, when he said the struggle, it's talking about the struggle of being blinded to the truth. Because when you come into the truth, you're going to struggle. But only struggle, that struggle is totally different from struggling not knowing who you are. There's two different types of struggle. Everybody understand what I'm saying? All right, don't get it twisted. Don't think that because you know you're Israel now, the struggle is over. Mm-mm. No, that's a different type of struggle.
That's just the beginning. Give me verse 30.
The book Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
So there's another struggle that Israel went through. Back in those days, the man had no power to protect his woman. So the slave master would take your wife and rape her in front of your face and your kid's face. That's a struggle that we have to endure and fight because why? We broke God's laws. That's why we all tell people, God's chastisement is way worse than mom and daddy. So you don't want to tee God off. Your best bet is to keep his laws and commandments. So, read that again.
Book Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
So let's fast forward this to today. When it said another man shall lay with thy wife. You marry, and you and your wife do not keep no laws and commandments. Your wife go to work. She got a work husband.
Damn.
Another man laying with your wife. Saying that for the brothers. You sisters thinking you being faithful, and you rely on your husband to go to work to bring back ends meet. He bringing back the money, but you know the money's not lining up because why? He got a wife, a work wife that he give money to. Yeah, that's far back underneath 28, the astonishment. You got a whole wife at home, but you giving money to a woman that got a husband at home too.
Oh, that's a simp. That ain't no damn
Yeah, you're right, that's a basic. But that's that astonishment of heart. Because why? You can't control your sexual habit. You got to have it. I want something new. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing really new. It's just a new face on it. Same pleasure. Might be different game in the pleasure, but the same pleasure. But another man laying with your wife, and you don't know nothing about it. That far back underneath, you have no control to fight for that. They even say about thou shalt build a house and thou shalt not dwell in it. Everybody want to get their home. You work hard to buy your home, right? You get your home. Is that home really yours? Who own the home? The bank. Because you miss a payment, all those years you've been in that house, and you missed that payment, and you got the money to make that payment, they're going to kick you out. That's a struggle. That struggle goes on both sides. Those that's in the truth and those that's not in the truth. Those that's in the truth, you understand, first and foremost, you won't have to worry about that first part, about your wife sleeping around about she really fed God. Same way for your husband, or he really fed God, you ain't got to worry about that part. But the other part right there, but build a house and can't dwell in it, that's the part we all got to worry about. Because guess what? That might be your trial that you're going to have to go through. To prove, do you going to choose God or you going to worry about material things? What do you mean, Joel? Your job has said, well, if you want to get some overtime to help you out cash up on your bill, work on Saturday. And you know you do that, you breaking the law. And that goes back to Ephesians when you be for that greed. It all tie in together. But when we use the scripture wisely and do according to God's laws and commandments, first and foremost, stop being long-eyed. Stop looking to have what somebody else already got. Be content with the Most High God always bless you with. Build yourself established and hard to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to work to this right here, and I'm trying to get this right here, pay off at this time. You making the step and find out how to deal with this. Stop trying to live from paycheck to paycheck. So it's your job, so you know, we got to let you go. All right, I understand. You leave, because guess what? I got funds already stored back to be able to keep me until I find something else. The Bible tells us to be what? Wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove. You don't want to be a fool and put nothing inside your pot where you can have something to go back to. But our laws coming into the truth, we fall underneath that category. And we learn it now, all right, this is what I got to do to maintain and try to get where I need to be at. Because the Bible says, don't owe no man what? Nothing. Because guess what? You know that's a sin too? So we're not going to be owing nobody nothing. But our laws say here, we owe somebody something, right? Who all got a car? You make a payment on that car, ain't it? Who all got a house? You make your payment on that, ain't it? Who all got to pay for gas? And we see what gas at, isn't it? So we all going to owe somebody a little something, but don't be in debt that going to make you break God's laws and commandments.
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes. That right there let you know, Christ said, if you got to pay taxes, that let you know you in captivity. Back to Deuteronomy 28 and give me verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
So who understands this verse right here? Raise your hand. So let's ask this question. We understand that you're talking about when our ancestors came out of the slave ship, right? How can we fast forward this today? Somebody raise your hand and explain me, how can this fit us today?
Let's say you got in public somewhere, or matter of fact in school, and you maybe discipline your child at the school call DSS on, and they come take the kids.
100% correct. Where's another form of it? What also can happen around that same territory? If you don't do something for your child, how can this fit this verse right here? Somebody raise your hand. I guess I'm saying it right. Another form of this right here for today, put it like that. Besides what Brother Jesse said, give me another form of this verse that will fit us today, where it said, thy son and thy daughter shall be given unto another people, and that eyes should look and fill with longing.
when your son or your daughter get accused of falsely doing something, they go to prison and nothing you can do about it?
Dang, that's a good one right there too. I didn't know, but no, that's a good one.
If your parents are strung out on drugs or something and you get taken away from
That's another good one. All these good ones.
they're going out with these heinous acts.
And that fall all in together as one, right there. Another form I was trying to get somebody to say, if they mandate the vaccine, if you don't give your child that vaccine, you know they're going to take your child away from you. This right here is showing another phone, you don't have no mic in your hand. So a lot of people might say, well, hold up now, you acting like that's just only going to happen to y'all black people. But white person do that, ain't gonna happen. That gonna happen to them too. Some kind of what? Cause they got loopholes to cover them. But for us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, if you do that, they will take your kid, and not only that child, they will take every child in that household.
They say it give it to another people too. White people give it and they kids.
Oh, that's a good one. That's true. So y'all got to think in mind that that struggle gonna knock at your front door. We teach it. We tell people, are you preparing yourself for this famine? Who are here still doing that? Raise your hand. All praises. Who are cutting back when they eating? All praises. How many times you should eat a day, y'all? One time a day. No, I know 3 times, sister. You're going to be starving. You want to train your body on how to eat at least 1 time a day. Because when this stuff happens, you don't want to be like our folk. Once again, Romans 15:4. The days that written them 4 times, written 5:11. Our forefathers them back then didn't listen, and they start eating their children. That go back to the curses when we go touch it to prove it. So you don't want to be accountable eating your kids. Baby come out the mama's stomach and they look at them like, that's like a little baby turkey. Listen, man, your mind go blank. You over here cooking your child. That's crazy. And people don't realize when you get starving, you will be amazed what people will actually do. That's why you think the Bible told us to fast? Because that fast touched that soul. When you hungry, it don't only touch the flesh, it touched the soul. When you see that stomach bothering, that stomach start talking to you, your attitude change, that may hit the soul then. That's a struggle. But God tells us how to control that stuff. This flesh is weak, but the spirit that's supposed to be in us is stronger than the flesh. If you continue to feed the spirit. And you got to feed it with the words of God. And practice these things that he give us. Give me verse 41.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
When I first read this verse right here, when I first came into the truth, I just only saw it in the concept of when our ancestors came out of the slave ship. And I used to say, that right there didn't fit us. But as I grew into the truth, I kind of realized something. It said, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. First thing came to my mind, we already in captivity. Second thing came to my mind, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. When you look at the black family home today, how many hours do they work? 12, 13, 14 hours. Your kids in school, how many hours? About 7, 8 hours a day in school like that? So by the time you at work, your kids go to school, your kids get out of school, you still got a couple more hours at work. By the time you get home, it's around 5, 6 o'clock. Is there any time for you to spend time with your kids to really learn them? You know when the lockdown, not the lockdown, but when they start doing that C-19 shutdown on all the jobs, and everybody had to stay at home, you know they said the divorce rate went sky high? Why is that?
Because people weren't used to spending time with one another.
That's right. What, brothers, give me a scripture to line up with the sister just get you saying. For somebody to divorce their wife or their husband that quick, what had to happen for that actually to take place? Is a chapter I'm looking for. There you go. Because they did not prove that person. They sit before the altar and say, to death do us part. But they were just going over what they already heard. There were a bunch of mockingbirds standing at the altar repeating what they already heard other people say. But they never really truly mean that within their spirit. That no matter what situation we go through, we always gonna be together till death do us part. So the Most High is a mastermind on everything he do. C-19 shut the whole country down. So you have more time to spend time with the person that you so called say, I love so much. That's my word. When you sit at home, she got on your last nerve. He got on your last nerve. Y'all got the cursing, y'all got the fussing. The kids get on your last nerve. The kids realize, Mom and Daddy don't love me like they said they do. And the household got broken up. Look it up. The divorce rate was sky high around that time. Because nobody don't know each other. You just know each other on the web base. Your whole world, your love, your capacity was what? Your job. That was your first love. That's the one you said to death do you part. You put your whole life in work. I just want to see you for a couple hours and we good. But we will only follow the step of the Bible in proving somebody, we would have never went in that stage. When that happened, we'd be more happier because we can spend time with each other. You wouldn't even want to go back to work because now I can spend time with my loved ones. Right?
Read that, Deuteronomy 28.
41 again.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 41.
You still dealing with the struggle. Come on.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters.
We all gonna have children. Read.
But thou shalt not enjoy
So
them,
God says, listen, because y'all disobedient, you ain't going to enjoy your children.
read, for they shall go into captivity.
So now, we always associate this with slavery. All right, but I'm going to show y'all, because Joel is bringing it up into today's time. I'm going to show y'all a precept that even go further beyond that. Go to Isaiah 42. This is going to go into the same, it's going to parallel with, you should have sons and daughters, all right? But you should, and they should go into captivity, and you will not enjoy them. All right, Isaiah 42 and verse 21. Listen to this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 21.
And those of you who are to contest this, raise your hand when you hear the point. Read.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
So now, if we keep the commandments of God, he's going to magnify it and make it honorable. I mean, it's going to be a pleasurable thing if you continue to abide in God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Meaning, it's going to show in your action. It's going to magnify. It's going to be that light for those that are in the midst of darkness. Your light shining is going to help them find a way or the path to righteousness. That's in magnifying the law through you. Read.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Oh, but now we got a dilemma. We got a problem. He said, but this is a people that is robbed and is spoiled. All right? When somebody rob you, is that a good thing? No. They taking something from you. It's things that is spoiled. Is that good? No. Meaning you can't use it. You can't drink spoiled milk. He said, these people are just like that. They are robbed and they are spoiled. Read.
They are all of them snared and hold.
They are all in traps.
And they are hid in prison houses.
Where they at?
Hid in prison houses.
What does prison houses equate to? Captivity. A lot of our sons, mainly the black men, are in prison. This backs up with Deuteronomy 28 and verse 41. You should beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Captivity today now is just not slavery. It's you being thrown in prison and getting free labor. What do you think the brothers doing in prison all damn day long? Making license plates, making stuff for companies, and getting paid a couple cents a day. That's it in prison houses. That's you in captivity. And you're not enjoying them. Some of our kids, our sons and daughters in prison for wrong. People accuse them of false accusation. That's they ain't gonna bring this up into today's time. Look at the rate. Mass incarceration is high among the black community. Understand that thing. Read it again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 21.
Come on.
The Lord is well pleased.
Verse 22.
Verse 22.
Come on.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
Our people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites, we are robbed of our nationality. We are robbed of our heritage. Read.
They are all of them snared and hold. And they are hid in prison houses.
They got us full in the prison houses. Read.
They are for a prey.
They are for a prey. How do we then gonna equate that to being a prey? You do the least little thing, and they then gonna lock you up. Brush your hair. Stop resisting, nigga. You ain't did nothing. Say, excuse me, sir, can I get my license? They find any and every excuse to then gonna lock you up. You are a prey unto them. Read.
And none deliver it.
And nobody is gonna come to your rescue. Nobody's going to stand on your side and say, listen, I got your back. You're going to get a dang prosecutor, but it's going to be a public defender. Somebody that's practicing law. That don't know what the hell they're doing. They're practicing your life. That's crazy. Read.
For a spoil. And none said.
And nobody said what?
Restore.
Hey, give that man back his life. You had the dang Central Fire, right? Or something like that, them black little brothers when they was dang teenagers, went to jail for something that they didn't do. One of them went in and got raped almost all the time. And when he got out, he was destroyed. And they want to give this brother money like that gonna compensate for what he went through. You can't restore that. This is dang on us going through the struggle. Understand that.
I was gonna say that like Isaac with immigration too, with Northern Kingdom.
Yes, same exact thing. This curse don't just fit one side of the dang spectrum. It's dealing with the Northern Kingdom as well as the Southern Kingdom. We all fit these curses. But I know most of us here can identify with what we just read in Isaiah 22. You see what I'm saying? 42 and 22 about our brothers and sisters being hid in prison houses. So when you go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 41 again,
Book Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 41.
So dealing with the struggle.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Now, brother Eli said that part of the captivity, that part of the struggle, because 90% of our brothers are in jail, are locked up. And look at it right now, the numbers starting to rise up on our sisters as well too, being locked up.
I also look at it as like not being able to enjoy them. Like you can't even really enjoy raising your children because you gotta prepare them for such a harsh reality right now.
Correct. You're not going to be able to enjoy your kids in no kind of form or manner. Because you look at Esau, the white man, when their kids go out for summer school, they go on a little family vacation. Activity, having a good time. Black folks, we got to work year around the clock. The one time we maybe take our kids on a little vacation, might be a weekend thing, and what they doing? Breaking the laws and the commandments, because you're not supposed to be buying and selling nothing on the Sabbath. But Esau, well, Bob, I'm gonna go ahead and take this week on, cause I'm gonna take my kids down to the beach.
Take off the whole summer.
No, the whole summer. You look around like, if these kids put me in school, they ain't on the beach the whole week. We just only trying to get the little last few days we can get in. And we think that's a blast, man. I had a good time, man. You want to know a good time, you see a good time. But that struggle. Because why? We was trying to do anything just to make sure we fit in to have that good time like they have. And that's why you find yourself in the struggle. You find yourself in debt. You find yourself miserable because why? You try to go out your rip to do the same thing when you see Esau and them doing. That's just like back in the past. I'm gonna have to just go on a little rant right now for a minute. But I'm gonna say probably back in the 80s. I'm gonna go that far back because that was around that time. Majority of the black people used to be in the same neighborhood, sitting around there. It was kind of fun in it. Because most everybody in the neighborhood know each other. They used to fight, but everybody used to laugh and play off afterward. The girls down the street doing double dutch, the boys playing basketball, throwing rocks at each other. Old man used to be playing baseball. Who all here can remember those days? Why you raise your hand for? You ain't even old enough to. But when you look at it, look at Gabe. When you look at it, back then, those were peaceful. But what happened? Esau started saying, you know what? Let's go ahead and let them think they can move in our neighborhood to make them think they're making it somewhere. So we started trying to move in these nice houses what Esau was living in. And now we realize we got to work more overtime. We got to work more to try to keep up with the house that we got because our concept always said, I don't want to stay in the hood. You know, I got to get out of this hood, this lifestyle. But when you really think about it, if someone would only took the time to really break this Bible down to us, we could have fixed our community right where we was at and probably have a better life sitting right in there. But that's just part of the curse. It was going to happen regardless, any which way we look at it. But it will show you how our mouths being controlled or directed by Esau the whole time. But we were thinking we were doing something. So then Esau came up. When did cable came up? Around what? The late 70s or something like that when cable came up? 78 or 85, something like that? When they started pushing cable out. Because back then, you only had what, 6 channels? 3 channels. When you hear that sound come on there at night, TV was shut off. Yeah, you had to walk up and turn the TV. Click, click, come on. Or the antenna like that, so I see what's going to work. That what we used to have back then. But Esau said, no, we're going to make them feel comfortable. Let's give them HBO, Showtime. Cinemax. So when you start seeing all these stuff on TV, everybody say at the TV like this. So what they were doing? Brainwashing us. Programming us the whole time. Like I'll make justice, damn, Esau got us again. But when you sit back and you come into the truth, the Most High reveal all that stuff back to you on how you were being destroyed the whole time. And now, you right here, and you came to that question, why? Why? So now you understand why you went to the struggle. Why you got to struggle so hard to work to make ends meet. Because you came from this location where you was comfortable at to start to live their lifestyle. Y'all follow? I already been on that too long. Let's jump down to verse 45.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandment and his statute, which he commanded thee.
So basically, you repeating the same there, like in verse 15. Read.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So all these curses, the ones that we touched on so far, it's going to be on our seeds forever. Israel, as us waking up into the truth, we can defeat a lot of those curses. Because you can start teaching your grandkids, your kids, the way that God said, keep my commandments. Moses told us, choose life or choose death. But I'd rather you choose life. So this is the opportunity right now. You can teach your kids before they head to the struggle. And stop saying that, oh, you know, it's so hard. No. Back in the old days, our aunts, our grandmama and papa, they forced us into obeying the laws in our household. You're going to have to start doing your kids the same way. Or you want to save their soul. Let them know. Take some of the TV activity away. Take some of the worldly things away from them and put the words of God in them. To let them see, if you don't do these things, you're going to head down this path right here. The same path that I had to struggle so hard to go through to try to keep you from not going through it. A lot of people always say, and this is a true statement, don't spoil your kids with all the stuff that you didn't have. Because what's going to happen, when you spoil them, they're going to go back to your beginning where your struggle started at. Because why? They never learn tough love. They never learn the struggle on how to maintain and keep what they got. That's why when you look at a lot of the neighborhoods today of black families that actually had home, Esau already came and took it away from the family bloodline because why? The children never learn on how to work to keep what they got. It was handed down to them. And that's what's wrong with a lot of our black generation today because they say, I'm not going to raise my kids like my mama did me. I'm not going to raise my kids to showing them, oh, you know, a belt is the answer, not the answer to anything. I'm just going to talk to my kids.
You know, y'all did it.
That's why the kids shooting you down in the streets right now. Because the young boys, when they get ready to fight and they do what? Oh, H-Go, they grab a gun because they never experienced a hit before. But they experienced when daddy popped you against that with that broomstick, I was in no belt. Or when mama hit you with that station car across your back like that, you understand how that felt. So when you got hit on the streets, you know how to fight back. But these days time now, these boys, they don't know how to handle that. Oh no, that's her. So now they get a gun and they shoot you. And now they got to go to the bakehouse. Now they're crying, looking for someone to help them get out of jail. Bro, the scripture already said, he don't have no mic to get you. You in Esau hand now. Now the white man going to chastise you. With big bucks sitting in the corner waiting for you.
Come on in here, boy.
So ain't nobody here. All we can do pray for you. So now you crying and your mama heart being broken because daddy said that like, you gotta learn that tough love. And you, I know.
Hey, but that's the generational curses. Because you didn't set the right example so that they won't have to go down that. Because your excuses, like you said, I don't want to chastise my kids the way that I got chastised. You know what I'm saying? I want them to have the things that I didn't have. And that's fine. But you got to remember, what is the cost of that? By you not going to not chastise them, what is that doing for them? You're enabling them. You're destroying them. You're not setting them up for success. You're dang gonna set them up for a dang gonna fall. And that's why we got all these little effeminate boys and girls out here in the street. Because nobody never did what they're supposed to be doing. Because why? In their mind, I didn't like the way that my mom and daddy raised me. I don't want my kids to experience what I went through. And then when you say, listen, they gotta go through that. Well, you know, y'all did when y'all was little. But yeah, we did, but we don't want them to repeat it. At some point, the thing gonna buck up and start somewhere.
You know how that started? It goes back to, like I said before, television. Esau put the television out there to tell you a vision on how to raise your kids. Because every black community, you sit around at the picnic, at the cookout or the family little gathering, and you start telling a story about when you used to get your rump beat, and everybody laugh about it. But now you don't have that no more. You sit at TV, and TV is raising the kids. So now the kids watching that, and they look at mom, you know, you put your hands on me, I'm gonna call the cops on you. You know you're gonna go to jail for that, right?
Nigga, I wish you would.
Yeah. Give me verse 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I speak unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you.
Listen, no man shall buy you means no one gonna come and save you. You won't see the it no more again. Talk about our homeland, Jerusalem. We're not gonna see those places no more. The only way you're gonna be able to see that is unless you get a ticket, a plane ticket to go over there and see it. But guess what? It ain't gonna be the same because the Jewish already corrupt that whole land over there. The land over there is not really a livable area over there no more. You can't even hardly grow nothing over there. It's not about like another desert, really, over there. And you got a bunch of Christian folks in these Christian church. Oh, I can't wait until I go over there and see the Holy Land. Ain't nothing holy about that land no more. That land, just like America, corrupted, with homosexual activity all in it. People don't get in the middle of the streets. But it said, won't buy you. Let's find who did that. Give me 1 Maccabees 3 and 41.
1 Maccabee, chapter 3 and verse 41. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much.
So you gotta remember that. When we came off of those slave ships, I wish I would have pulled that video up. How they were starting to clean us up from smelling like donkey on the ship for so long. So they would paint grease all over our body to make us shine, look fresh and new. So the people heard about this, oh man, we got some good, strong books. Yeah, y'all can go. So they say right here, the people took silver and gold. Read.
Which servant and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
To buy who?
To buy the children of Israel for slaves.
For slave. So now Deuteronomy 28 says we were sold, but no man will buy, meaning no one gonna come and save us. So when you read on down, you will find who is the people doing all this.
A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines.
These are black people. Those are Africans. The African had us in slavery first. When the Grecian came, they sold us unto the Grecian. The Grecian, as we know, are who? White folks. So when the Bible said all nations had their hand in the midst of Israel captivity, trust it and believe it. All nations did. That's why every last one of them got a payment coming. And you will have people, well, that's our ancestors. We didn't do nothing about that. That wasn't us. But when you read Isaiah 14, verse 21, it's the place slaughter for the children. Your children are going to pay for what they did. Just like us. We have to pay for what our ancestors did, and we still paying for it now. From there, let me get to show you the difference from us. Give me Exodus 11 and 7.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue, against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord that put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel.
The Egyptian we know of is Africans, black folks. And the Bible said he put a difference between the Egyptian and Israel. That's why I laugh at a lot of these black people in America want to be Egyptian. You know, the way that all seeing eyes and the arc around their neck. There was the Egyptian custom that you shall keep when they had your behind, your ancestors in slavery. Let's go right back again. Give me Ecclesiastes 1 and 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
There is no new thing that is under the sun. It said the thing that happened, somebody give me the precept on that. What are they talking about right there? This right here is a little piece of meat. 6 and 10. Oh, brother, let's get there real quick. 6 and 10.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. That which had been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
It is what?
It is man.
It's man that the Father is speaking about. Now go back to chapter 1, verse 9 again.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that had been,
man, read.
It is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done.
Meaning slavery was made back then and slavery was even up to now. And guess what? It's still happening right now as we speak. Because you still got people that sell to people. You got a lot of our sisters is being kidnapped off these streets for sex trafficking. Even brothers being missing for their organs in their body. And they're being sold unto the other nation. And what's so sad, because now coming down into this context of everything, is our own people is doing that. That's why we tell our sisters, they get so mad thinking, oh, we bashing women. We ain't bashing no goddamn woman. We trying to teach our sisters that is out here in these streets, you got to dress modest. And you got to all make sure you wash your surroundings around you, because you got your own people will laugh in your face and smile with you like they like you so much, and they're holding you for sex trafficking. Because they know their money is in it. And our brothers got to stop being so foolish and blind and talking to the Esau woman when they're setting you up to be trafficking as well. Our organ is worth way more than gold. It's worth more than all. But we can't tell you no more than what we can tell you. But you got a lot of sisters who have that concept thinking you so much bash your woman. Like I always tell people, if the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't fit, let it roll off your back like a duck. But you know you keeping these laws in the command. You know you're not dressed like a prostitute in the streets. Don't worry about it. But you know some form of manner that fits you, fix it before Christ come back. That's all we can say. Give me Joshua 23.
Joshua chapter 23 and verse 11. Take good heed therefore unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you.
We're going into the content of how we forsaking God by going with the other nations. Read on. Let's see what God said He's going to do. You continue to keep doing it. Read.
Verse 13. Knowing for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you.
This is why we see what's going on now. The Most High God is not drawing these nations away from us no more. He will let us learn from our own mistake. And you wondering why you go in the struggle you going into. And this going right here, when you look at a lot of our basketball players, football players, because you want to already marry the other nation. When you die, where do you think that money gonna go to? To the white people nation. Ain't gonna go to your nation, because at the end of the day, your kids that come from you, they gonna mostly draw toward their mama. And they gonna marry someone white, someone Chinese, someone Japanese. Where your bloodline going at? Read.
But they shall be snares and trap into you, and scourge in your side, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God had given you.
And that was exactly what happened to our forefathers now. The land that God had given to us, we started joining with the other nation, we started mingling with the other nation, and they draw us away from our homeland. So who on that land now? The Jewish folks. And they corrupt the land. The land don't even want to produce no more, because why? The nation of Israel is not on their land. So now when you fast forward to over here in this country, the Most High God said, I'm going to let them tear you apart. Our forefather King Solomon went through that. And they caused him to start worshiping our gods that know we're against our God. And that's the same that we see in this land right here. You got brothers saying that, oh, I'm going to let my child pick their own gender.
Yeah.
Said, what? Esau came on there and he made something that made so much sense. Esau said, if you should die, because he was talking to these gay dudes that act like they're woman. If you should die, and your bone, your skin decay off your bone, how you think they're going to identify you as a male or a female? Your bone going to let you know you was a male or a female. So that's why we tell people, God don't make a mistake. Man brainwash you in believing that you can be what you want to be. And you can't. But God said you're a female, that's what you are. Or you're a male, that's what you are. But people don't realize that. They want to go ahead and do what they feel was good in their own heart. Or what I believe. No, you got to believe what the Bible said. What the Bible said, that's what you believe. From there, let me get no, my fact, what time is it? I don't want to be about that. Well, let's skip that. Give me Deuteronomy 18 and 9.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God gave thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations.
Read.
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire.
You know what this is also going into? For those that is being awakened, and you in the truth, and you know your daughter is giving an abortion, and you don't say nothing about it, that means you in agreement with that. Meaning you supposed to let them know that is abomination, and God gonna hold you accountable for that. You cannot let that go by. When you see your boys, when you see the boys also as well, when you see boys talk about they giving girls money to go get an abortion, that's wrong, that's murder. You read?
Or that uses divination, or an observer of time, or an enchanter, or a witch.
That goes back to a lot of people who talk about this horoscope crap. Or what's your sign? Oh, that means this. Are they going to newspaper sign read the heart goes and what's going to happen? That far need witchcraft, y'all. God said don't deal with that stuff. Right there, read verse 9 again.
Verse 9, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
We already in our captivity land. We already know when this part he was talking about when we go into those lands, not to take on what the heathen was doing. But right now we are in the land of our captivity. And we see what the heathen doing. God tells don't take part in that. Read.
Thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of those nations.
All these stuff that the nation is doing that he about to read again is the abomination. And where do abomination go to? In a lake of fire when Christ come back. So right here, it's plain as day. You don't need a little breakdown for that. It is common sense. If you see that abomination, you have to correct it. And make sure you not partaking in that. Read.
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that uses divination, or an observer of time, or an enchanter, or a witch,
Read.
or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord.
Is a what?
Are an abomination unto the Lord.
Read.
And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God.
So we supposed to be perfect with the Lord our God. When you see these stuff going around here, we put to cast that out. And guess what, y'all? It's going to be very shocking what I'm about to say. All that stuff we just listed, all that is found in the Christian church. Every last bit of it. That's why we all tell people they need to come out of their church. Guess where else is far at? Television. When you control yourself to watch TV all day, and don't try to draw yourself away from that, for your brain don't have to take all that stuff in, be careful, because you're going to be brainwashed. You're going to be witchcraft. That's why you got constantly, Brother Eli is putting up a lot of television for kings of Israel. You got all the big brother camp that 24/7. Yeah, you can watch the other stuff to try to learn something for it, but you can be able to teach your kids or your family about these stuff. But you gotta be very careful in this center right there being drawn into that. Because evil communication do what? Corrupt good manners.
Just to add on to what you said about the TV thing. You know, how many of you all fall asleep with your TV on? Hey, believe it or not, if y'all have no weird dreams, it comes from the TV. That stuff being left on. I'm serious. Because
That's true.
you be dreaming some stuff that I did before. You be dreaming some stuff, but you be getting on the, ooh, snap, what the hell's going on, man? Whoo, I'm a woman, I'm a pee on myself. I'm like, that's all that story for myself right now.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done?
The TV thing, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be mindful about leaving that on because that stuff is witchcraft. It is witchcraft because you'll be thinking about some stuff and you're like, man, where that craziness come from? And then you wake up, you find out that must have been the day on TV.
I'm gonna tell you how true that is what you're saying. Because my wife, she said all day, she can tell you, I literally was sleeping and I woke up and I told her what she been watching on TV. That show you how deep that TV is. That's witchcraft. That's why you gotta be very careful and you gotta observe the time on watching that television. That was one of my main big goals right now that I'm doing is cutting back on a whole lot of television. Anything I watch now is mainly is classes something that's going to edify me more into the scripture if I can have that relationship with the Most High God. Because we know we can worship the God while in spirit and truth. So you got to literally take yourself out of the equation and start meditating spiritually with the Most High God so you can get an answer from him. But when you allow your brain to be clouded up with all that worldly stuff on TV, you're gonna have a tough life. They're gonna fall back under that struggle. That struggle gonna kick in again. Because now you're struggling and trying to learn the word, and you're struggling to start watching TV at the same time. When you don't have to do that. Cut the TV loose and just stay in your word. And you don't got to worry about struggling no more. Let's get started. Give me Matthew 7:15.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits.
The Bible says, ye should know them by their fruit. Hold what you got. Give me Galatians 5 and 22.
This is Galatians chapter 5 and verse 22.
Let's find what is the fruit. Right?
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
So your pastor don't teach you these concepts of the fruit, meaning they're going to be teaching you the law. They're going to be teaching you on how to keep God's laws and commandments. Because all these stuff fall underneath the law. If they're not teaching you no laws, guess what? They're not carrying the fruit. Go back to Matthew. Matthew 7.
The book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
These pastors will come to you with smooth words. They will come with a nice 3-piece suit, clean-cut face, and they will talk to you like, my child, God love you. Just have faith. Jesus is there for you. Don't worry about what you're going through. Christ is the way. He can answer all your prayers. No, you don't have to keep doing laws no more. We under grace, my sister. That's how they will come talk to you. But they that wolf looking to really devour you. They want to eat you. Because what they try to do, they try to reach in your pocket. Read.
Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
Read.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
A good tree cannot bring forth bad fruits. Meaning, when we go out and we teach, we're going to teach the words of God. We're going to read it as it is written. The Bible says, keep the laws and the commandments. So when you look at me, you look at my fruits. So if I'm talking to you and I got a shaved face, how can I tell you that you're not supposed to ball your face? Or my face looks just like yours. If that's a bad fruit, there ain't no good fruit. So you can't look at me and imitate me and try to walk what's right. Because the first thing you want to do is throw it back at me like, how you want to tell me your face bald, brother? Oh, better yet, a sister supposed to be wearing dress, and you try to talk to another sister who got on tights, but you try to tell her that, no, let me take that back. You wearing pants, and you try to tell that sister she needs to start wearing those tight yoga pants. What different both of y'all in? Y'all in the same boat. So you can't try to correct that sister when you in the midst of sin yourself. That don't make no sense. So that means your fruit is on a bad tree, and you trying to tell another sister that already on a bad tree. Both of y'all throwing away the same fruit. Bad taste. Poison fruits. But if you a sister that got on a dress, and you dress modest, and you try to help your sister, because you was once that sister before yourself, and you try to correct her, Then you that good fruit trying to teach this sister on how to become a good fruit. Trying to pull her from off of that bad tree that she eating on. To start eating on the good fruit. Y'all follow? So you don't want to be eating on the same bad tree, and both of y'all ain't going nowhere. Both of you want to die. Read.
Verse 19, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire.
Read that again.
Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire.
You know what I mean? You ain't teaching no laws, no commandments. And you bringing nothing about bad fruits. You're going to be burned in the lake of fire. That's what they get into. You're going to be cut off. That's what exactly what they get into. So that for a lot of these pastors who sit behind the pulpit, if you would tell people to celebrate Easter that just gone, that's a bad fruit. Modern day is about to come up. Is modern day about to come up for real?
I think so.
That's about to come up. And you right there got the woman, I remember Jimmy Steve used to do that crap. They have a woman pastor come up and teach on Mother Day. That's bad fruit. And Christ's going to come back and he's going to cut you down and throw you in the lake of fire if y'all don't repent.
That's the struggle for many of us. And I'm glad you brought that Mother's Day thing up, because that's a struggle in itself for a lot of us that is in this truth. When that day come around, that's when they try to play on your heart. You won't disrespect me?
But the Bible says you supposed to honor that father and mother.
You're not gonna come to Sunday service and they ain't gonna pass the Christian and you eat that water in your head?
But I give you birth.
You not gonna eat dinner with me on Sunday?
But you my only child.
Listen, y'all gotta remember, all these things is gonna be said unto you. And you gotta make the decision whether or not you're gonna fight that fight.
That mama ain't gonna live long.
Yeah, this Big Mama last, this might be Big Mama last year to celebrate Mother's Day. You gonna miss that? That's the struggle that you all have to face.
I'm gonna tell you how wicked when you sit down and think about this coming into the truth. Who that God created first? So why in the world we have Mother's Day before Father's Day? Think about that. Now people gotta think about it. These stuff is wicked. And like Brother Eli bring out, there's gonna be a lot of people that's in the truth struggle. And what you gonna do?
Verse 20, wherefore by their fruit ye shall know them.
Christ said, by their fruits you shall know them. These are the two fruits gonna come, good or bad. Which one you are first and foremost? Are you that good fruit or are you that bad fruit? And like I said, in Israel, we got a lot of bad fruits. And Mother Day gonna show it. Some camp on Easter Day. We partake on Easter. You know what? I just gotta think about something too.
Saw them on Facebook doing it.
You know,
MIA, missing in action.
what you call that stuff? All the camp who celebrate their Easter on the black moon. What fall around that same time? Isn't that Easter fall around that time too? So these people think they're slick. I bet you any money. A lot of them are celebrating Easter. It's not act like they were celebrating Passover.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch it. The Bible says stay
The Bible says his people is crafty to do evil. That's why I say I look at this stuff very closely. Because some of the outfits I see some of the people had on, well, boy, these boys wicked as hell, boy.
Don't look at no camp garment.
That's what I'm saying. He ain't look nothing like no camp. I saw one brother had on a 3-piece suit. With no fridges.
Put a Mitri on.
I tell you, man, people they taking this thing for a joke. But the more I know your spirit, He know who are for the truth and who are not for the truth.
Y'all better not come up here, Mr. Savage, because if I don't see y'all, I'm gonna put you on blast. I'm gonna touch you and say, where was you at? Was you out Sunday? Was you celebrating with your mama?
So we know the bad fruit is the opposite of the good fruit in Galatians chapter 5 and 19 to 21 down. So sometime I'm not going to read it. But the bad fruit is those that will be in fornication, lust, lie, murder, all the kind of stuff. Those bad fruits. Those that don't want to keep the laws and the commandment. Give me Colossians 2 and 8.
Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of man, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Christ.
Read that again.
Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of man, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Christ.
That's amazing. It said, after the remnant of the world. We know most of the things of the world come through what? Television. So how can we be spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit? Give me Isaiah 30 and 9.
Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
The Bible says these people are rebelling people. Children that do not want to hear the what? The law of the Lord. That's our Christian church. That's our grandmamas. That's our children. They don't want to hear the laws of God. What do they want to hear? Read on.
Which say to the seer, see not.
Don't see my sin. Who are you to call my sin out? Read.
And to the prophets,
And tell the prophet, do what?
prophesy not unto us right things.
Don't prophesy no right stuff to us. Don't tell us that Christmas is abomination. Don't tell me I can't celebrate Mother's Day. Don't tell me that we can't keep Easter. Don't tell me that I cannot wear pants. I can wear whatever I want to wear. Don't tell me I can't be effeminate.
Don't tell me that, Pastor. Don't do that.
That's what you be hearing the children, the rebellious children, telling the pastors. Read on.
Speak unto us smooth things.
No, Pastor, I need you to speak smooth thing to me. It made me feel, I want to feel good when I go to come to your church. I want to hear the choir just playing music all day. And I want you to go ahead and just read 2 verses. And I want to be John 3:16, for God so loved the world. And my next one, Jesus wept. That's all I want to hear, Pastor. Don't tell me nothing else, Pastor. Read it again. Verse 10.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophet, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things.
And this is where our struggle come in, because we were teaching lies. So now when the struggle come our way, we don't understand. Because all our life, the pastor was teaching smooth things to get our money. He wasn't teaching the brother on how to be a man, on how to prove a sister, to make sure that she's a godly sister. The pastor wasn't teaching in the church that the girls should dress like modest ladies. When you come in the house of the Lord, make sure your head cover up. Make sure that your dress come past your knee. The pastor ain't teaching that. So what happened? We thinking we can come in the house of the Lord any kind of way. Come at you all. Jesus don't love you. He ain't going to judge you for what you got on. And that's how we came into the struggle, because we started doing things according to our own belief. Give me Micah 3 and 11.
Micah chapter 3 and verse 11. The head therefore judges for reward, and the priest thereof teach for hire, and the prophet thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us?
And they so bold in saying that. Is God not with us? Look at the manifest church we got. Look how many people come in here. Look how many people giving their donation to the church. And you said, tell me, God is not with me? I don't know, we got ATM machines. They can go there and get their money and pay their tithes. They say, they said, is not God among us? Not evil can come upon us. So in their mind, they thinking they living a godly life. Because God is not passing judgment on them, not yet. The Bible said, first of all, these churches not really paying nobody for the word of God. Give me that in Matthew 10 and 5.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
If you look at it, he started off with that with a capital too. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is on the way. That's our main focus. We need to be teaching the people that the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God started when Christ came on the earth. The kingdom of heaven was at hand. That's why we tell people, we don't know when. It's soon. Very soon. Read.
Heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received.
No, he couldn't say freely. We're supposed to get paid for that.
Freely ye have received, freely give.
So Christ in the same way as you was awakened to the truth, you got to go back out and do it the same way. Because I didn't charge you and I wake you up. So why would you charge them and waking your people up? So guess what? That's a commandment. So guess what, y'all? Those that's online listening, your pastor is under sin. Your pastor is robbing the children. Because God said you're supposed to give this thing freely. But you got pastors today, they will not come to a church and preach for free.
Just listen to that, man. I can just in my speech, you can feel. People online gonna hear this and still gonna go tomorrow and give that 10%.
Yep.
They gonna do it. I think seeing that scripture right there and them things in red, that's Christ speaking.
Right.
And they still gonna say, no, nigga, I don't believe what you saying. I ain't said it. That's what the scripture says. And they gonna go and do it. Grandmama gonna do it. Your mama gonna do it. Your daddy, somebody gonna go and do it after hearing the scripture. That's retarded.
That go back to who of anybody thinking, look at your notes. What chapter that we pull out that far on me? What? That's right there. Brother Eli just gets you saying that Christ said, free you have received, free you should give. But he said that you will have, don't behind people will go right back to church tomorrow and give it up back there.
Deuteronomy 28:28.
All praises. That's called madness, astonishment of heart.
You can't see it. And he just read it.
That's what I'm saying. You blind. But they're going to do that. Read Ezekiel 22 and verse 26.
Ezekiel chapter 22 and verse 26. Her priests
violated the laws of God. First thing, because you charging people to hear the word of God. You violated the laws by having service on Sundays. You violated the law for having the white Jesus image up in your church. You violated the law by having a cross symbol in your church. You violated because you got women sitting among the congregation with their head uncovered. How much more sin can I call out in the church? Read.
And have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
So let's find out what he means by that. What you got? Give me Exodus 12 and 5. Because he said, profane my holy things. What's one of the holy things that we supposed to keep that we just gave? Let's read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12 and verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish. A male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats.
So that's the clean thing. So what was the unclean thing that they kept? Give me Leviticus 11 and 7. Because what the lamb, what that was on? Passover, right? That's the clean thing we're supposed to do. That's the holy thing. Let's find the unclean thing that they did for their Easter.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine.
The what?
The swine.
They said the swine was a good thing. They eating the pig that God told them not to eat. Go back to Ezekiel 26. I just want to get that little part.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
They put no difference in it. They said, as long as you pray on it, it's all good.
Hallelujah.
Read on.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. And have hid their eyes from my Sabbath. And
They hid their eye from the Sabbath. Where did that start at? Give me first Maccabees 1:41. First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 41.
And the Apocrypha, the book First Maccabee, chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
So all the heathen, they agreed to that. They said, yeah, we can serve our own God. Read.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Said what?
And
read it again.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath.
And they did what?
Profaned the Sabbath.
Profaned the Sabbath. Meaning they agreed to the heathen's custom. Read on.
For the king had sent letters by messenger unto Jerusalem and the city of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
The strange laws of the land. Any past laws out now that the same man can get married, the same woman can get married? You cannot deny that. These laws, they pass it. The heathens. The white man. Read.
And forbid burnt offering, and sacrifice, and drink offering, in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days.
Now, this right here should speed up to today's time. Because do our people keep any of God's high holy days? They don't keep none of this. So we see when God said to Ezekiel that they profane his high holy days and hid themselves. Read.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts.
Do they do that in the church today? Yes, they do. Read.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
Ain't that they do a lot of our people doing that now? They don't circumcise their kids? Read.
And make their soul an abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
Read.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
And that's what I want to get at. Today, our people forget the laws of God and they change the ordinance. They say keep Christmas. They say keep Easter. Keep Mother's Day, Father's Day. Keep your birthday. They profane all the ordinance that God set up for us to have to keep their wicked holidays. Go back to Ezekiel.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 22 and verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profane among them.
Isaiah 9:16.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed.
The leaders, meaning the pastors, the deacons, they had caused the people to err. Read.
Therefore, the Lord shall have no joy in their young men. Neither shall have mercy on their fatherless and widows, for everyone is an hypocrite and an evildoer.
The Bible said even one of them hypocrites and evildoers. When you look at the generation of kids right now coming up, they're straight evil. Like I said earlier, they have no love for God. They don't even believe in God. And you see a bunch of our women right now, ain't there a bunch of widows sitting up in the church? Read.
And every mouth speaketh folly. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
God, we serve, he still got his hand stretched out for us. Still taking time to wake us up. Even though we turn and we talk about God, we don't believe in him. These laws, ain't nobody can keep these laws. They turn their back on the true living God. They turn his back on the thing that he set up for us to have. And he still stretches his hand out until we wake up. So how can we fix this? How can we solve all this? Give me Baruch 3:8. First and foremost thing we gotta remember is this. Speed this up real quick and we're gonna wrap it up. Baruch 3:8.
So the struggle that you all gotta remember is what Joel bringing out is between choosing between who to follow, that's the men of God, and who's not the men of God. That's the struggle. You gotta choose you this day.
And the Apocrypha, the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payment according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
So the first thing we got to realize as a nation of Israel, to understand why we're in the struggle, we got to remember we are in the land of our captivity. For subject to payment. Meaning we got to get our mind right. That's the first thing every Israelite coming into the truth, you got to realize and admit that you know we are in the land of our captivity. If you don't believe you're in captivity, then you don't believe this whole Bible. Period. Give me 1 Kings 8 and 46.
The book of 1 Kings chapter 8 and verse 46. If they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not.
Because every last one I say here, we have sinned against the Most High God, right?
And thou be angry with them.
And the Most High God was angry with us, right?
And deliver them to the enemy.
And the Most High hand us to the enemies, right?
So that they carry them away captive unto the land of the enemy, far or near.
Far and near, meaning close to our homeland, Jerusalem, and all the way on the opposite side of the earth. Right?
Yet, if they shall bethink themselves,
what do they have to do?
Bethink themselves.
We have to bethink ourselves in the land of our captivity, right?
And the land whither they were carried captive, and repent.
And do what?
And repent.
And you have to repent. Because you know you are in the midst of your sin. Drop that, give me Sirach 2 and 1.
The book and the Apocrypha, the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1.
As you bethink yourself and you repent, know you will have to remember this right here. Read.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare your soul for temptation. This is going to be part of your struggle that you're going to have to go to. You understand why we going through what we're going through, and now he tells you how you're going to have to handle yourself through the struggle. Read.
Set thy heart aright.
Set your mind right. Meaning your mind got to be in the words of God. Read.
And constantly endure.
And you have to constantly endure your struggle. Because, read.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
And don't make haste when trouble come your way. When your family turn their back on you. When your job said, we got to let you go because of the belief you in. They said that you in a hate group. You have to hold on to this struggle that you are going through. Read.
Cleave unto him.
Cleave unto the Most High God. Not man, not self, but unto the Most High God. Read.
And depart not away.
And don't depart away from him. Because he is the one going to help you through the struggle. Read.
That thou mayest be increased at thy last
that
end.
You may be increased in your last end. Read.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully.
Take it cheerfully because why? You know what you're going through. You know the struggle that you got to go through. God said, I got you. But I'm trying to make you stronger. I'm taking you to the fire for a reason. Read.
And be patient.
And you got to be patient. You cannot be ants pants, one thing to come real quick to you. You got to be patient and let it take its course. Read.
When thou art changed to a low estate.
Even when you down to the bottom of the barrel and see that there is no way out, the Bible says you still got to take it shamefully. Read.
For gold is tried in the fire.
Because that gold is tried in the fire to take out all the, what the one I'm looking for? Their profession in it. Read.
An acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him.
Do what?
Believe in him.
Believe in everything that this Bible says. Don't say, well, I believe like this. I believe. No, you believe on the words of God. Read.
And he will help thee.
And he will help you. That's how we're going to get through our struggle, y'all. That's how we're going to get to the next stage. That's how the Most High is going to use us to be able to correct our children. That's how the Most High God will let you know on how to deal with your co-workers. That's how the Most High God will teach you on how to deal with the congregation. Because you're going to fall. Because why? You try to drive instead of letting God drive the car. And you will fall. And I'm going to stop it right there because on time.